Alright, this is Closing Time by Semisonic. What we'll do first is work on some of the chord shapes that you're going to need to know to play the song. Actually, you only need to know one chord shape to play the whole song. That's the power chord. And by the way, if you have a tuner, tune up to it now to regular tuning, and you should be right in tune with the song so that you can play right along with the video and also the recording to the song. Okay, so this whole thing starts with this chord shape, as I stated earlier. And what we're going to do to achieve that is use our first finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string, and our pinky on the 5th fret of the 4th string. And we're only going to strum those 3 strings. Now this chord shape moves across the strings. Notice how I bounce these 2 fingers over one set of strings, so that my next chord is going to be my index finger on the 5th fret, 5th string, 3rd finger, 7th fret, 4th string, and pinky 7th fret, 3rd string. And then I'm also just going to kind of leave my index finger down here on the 6th string, even though we're not going to really pluck that string. And I'll explain that in just a minute. And from there we're going to bounce these 2 fingers back to here. So we're forming the same shape we had down here, except on the 5th fret. And then we're going to slide that shape up to the 8th. Like so. So we have this. So I'm going to go ahead and play that along with the recording once for you so you can see how it moves. And then we're going to go a little more deeply into the right hand technique. And you see how that progresses. So here's our strum. We're going to do 3 of these, and then a couple quick ones, and then slide up to the 5th fret like so. And then we're going to hit our chord right here twice, and then a couple quick ones, and switch right back over to our 5th fret chord based on the 6th string. So we have, and then we move it up here to the 8th fret with a little slide. Now it's real important to get this one, the strumming correct. I've seen all sorts of people be like, I see that with my students who walk in the door all the time, who have kind of taught it to themselves. But the proper way to do it is like so. Again, that's 1, 2, 3, quick, quick, 1, 2, 3, quick, 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 quick slide. 1, 2, 3, quick, 1, 2, 3, quick, quick, 1, 2, 3, quick, quick slide. So there's our intro for Closing Time, and it also functions as the verse. Let's move along to the next part of the song. Okay, you may have noticed there's a keyboard part in Closing Time in the verse, and what I've done is arranged it for guitar so that you can play it along with the song if you feel like doing that. Now, what I'm going to do is, so you know where I am in the song and so you know how it fits in, I'm going to play along with the music for you really quick here, and then we'll get into it note by note. And you can see how that progresses. Here's how we do it. We use our first finger on the 7th fret of the 1st string and our 2nd finger on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and we're going to strum between those 2. It's going to go 1st string, 2nd string like so. And we're going to do that twice. Then we're going to extend our pinky up here to the 10th fret of the 1st string and let our 2nd finger remain here on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. Do one of those and then back to here once. So we have just like that. Second half of it looks like this, which is the same thing we saw before. Index finger in 2nd, 7th and 8th twice. Then we tuck our 3rd finger under here on the 8th fret of the 1st string, like so, and then take it off. So when we put the whole thing together, we get this. And that is repeated several times throughout the verse. Let's move along to the chorus. Okay, here's the chorus for closing time. This one is the same chords that we saw in the verse, except our strum is going to be a little different, and you see I've added some distortion on the guitar. And what we're going to do is here, we're going to do 2 of these, and then a series of mutes, like so. And the way I do that is I kind of bring my fingers of my left hand up off the frets a little bit, but I'm still touching the strings. And then I pluck as I normally would with my right hand. You can also, if you want, use the heel of your right hand to mute out the strings a little more if you want to make sure it sounds nice and tight. So we're going to do 2 of those, mute 4 times, 2 of these, mute twice, so you just throw those mutes in there, and you've got your chorus. So the chords are the same, the strum's a little different with some mutes. Let's go ahead and play it along with the recording now so you can see what I mean. And there we have it, the chorus of the song. That one's pretty easy. Let's move along now to the bridge. Okay, here's the bridge to closing time. What I'm going to do this time is play it along with the recording first so that you can see where I am in the song, and then we'll go over it chord by chord. Alright, so now that you see where I am, here's our chords. Same power chord shape we've been using. We start on the 6th fret, move to 4, bounce it up over a couple strings, 6th fret, 5th string root, and then 3rd fret, 5th string root. So that's going to be our progression. And that happens 3 times. And then it ends all right here on 3rd fret, 6th string root, and that chord is held for a couple bars. So there is our bridge, and also there's a little keyboard solo you probably heard in there, and I'm going to teach you how to play that on guitar. Here we go with that. Music, here's our notes. We start up on the 11th fret of the 2nd string with our index finger. Next we have 13th fret of the 3rd string, then back to 11th, and then the 13th on the 2nd string. So those are our first 4 notes. Second 4 notes look like this. 11th 1st string, slide index finger down to 10th, 13th 2nd string, and then 11th on 2nd string, and then we go 12th 3rd string back to 11th on 2nd string. So that sequence of notes is 11, 10, 13, 11, 12, 11. Again. Put the whole thing together. And after they do that 3 times, it's just back to the other keyboard riff we learned earlier. So there we go. There's the bridge for closing time, both the chords and the keyboard part. Let's move along to the solo. Okay, this is the solo for closing time. I'll play it along with the music for you once so you can see where I am with. Alright, so there it is along with the music. The technique we're going to be using here is octaves. Similar to a power chord, except what we're going to do is have our fingers 2 strings apart For example, here we're going to have our first finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string and our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. So we have 3rd fret here, 5th string, 5th fret here, 3rd string. And this string in between, the 4th string, is going to be muted by the edge of our index finger here. See how I have it kind of draped over it. And this is what our chord is going to sound like. So I'm strumming 3 strings, but only 2 are sounding. So we're going to take that idea, move it up to 5th, move it up to 7th, and then move it up to 10th, and kind of slide it down while our fingers are still pressing the strings. So for the first part of the solo, we have 3, 5, 7, 10. Again, that's 3, 5, 7, 10. Next part, same idea, octaves. We're going to go 7, 9, 10, 14 with a slide. 7, 9, 10, 14. One more time. 7, 9, 10, 14. And there we have it. There's our solo. And the chords underneath the solo are going to be the same as we saw in the chorus and also the verse. So as far as the rhythm underneath it, you already know that. All right, let's move along now. We'll play along with the whole song.